here with us in studio. Let's start, Stephen, with online video streaming Netflix, which announced its results on Monday.
Yeah, companies once again beaten expectations with its results for the first 3 months of this year. Profits up by 9% to over 53 million euros. The company also added up to around 2 million subscribers in the United States and around the same amount, in fact, internationally. As well, pushing it to almost 50 million subscribers worldwide. The firm says it's expecting its international business to be where its future expansion will be. It's expecting those numbers to increase by 50% this year, and that's where they say it's expecting most of its profit to come from. That includes launching in many European markets, including Germany and France. Netflix has had meetings with the French government in particular over launching the service here. But despite these good results, the company says it plans to increase prices for its customers by $1 or $2 per month. US subscribers currently pay just under $8 a month for Netflix. They say it'll help them to produce more original programming like House of Cards. But the firm also used its results announcements to attack the proposed merger between the two biggest US cable companies, Time Warner Cable and Comcast, a massive merger underway in the United States. They said that it'll limit competition for broadband services. Of course, something that's very important for Netflix subscribers is how fast they can get access to that video.
Indeed. And how are the markets in general doing today, this Tuesday?
Well, in fact, in after-hours trading, Netflix shares rose by almost 7% in New York, but it was generally a little bit calmer on Wall Street on Monday as markets came back after the Easter holidays. All of the main markets, though, managing to push into the green. Those results from Netflix among the positive corporate results. We're expecting a lot of results this week. The market's certainly preparing themselves for that. Here in Asia, the positive lead from Wall Street helping things in Japan. The Nikkei nudging into positive territory. Not very high up, though, as you can see, and the Hang Seng in Shanghai just dipping slightly into the red. Trading volume still said to be quite light after the holiday weekend.
Now, Stephen, plenty of chocolate eaten this past weekend. I have to admit, I munched my fair share. But your next story is one I don't want to hear. Apparently, the price of chocolate could rise. Yeah, chocolate makers here in France have been warning that prices could shoot up as cocoa bean prices increase. Easter has driven down many producers' stockpiles, which they say have been keeping prices lower, meaning the sweet treat might be about to cost a bit more. Delano de Souza has the story.
Quality cocoa beans, a must in making fine chocolate. This French chocolatier has travelled directly to the producer. Each year he buys 120 tons of cocoa, making him particularly vulnerable to price fluctuations.
A bag like this can cost 100 euros or 600 euros. Now we're at 600 euros a bag. It's panic selling that's affecting the markets, or a speculative sale, and the price of the crop has exploded. But it's not the producers nor the chocolatiers that are responsible.
Cocoa prices dropped from a high of $3,500 a ton in January 2011 to a low of $2,100 per ton in May 2012. Fears of shortages by 2020 have forced prices back up once again.
On the one hand, you have production which has been delayed and is suffering from a lack of investment, especially in big producers like Ivory Coast. And on the other side, you have an increase in consumption from new consumers from emerging countries, particularly in Asia.
Easter is the second busiest time of the year for those in the chocolate industry. And to avoid passing on price increases to consumers, chocolatiers like Stéphane Bonin have tapped into their reserves.
Something that we can be concerned about for the weeks to come anyway. We'll move on now with a look at some of the day's other companies' news. And China's Shandong Airlines has ordered 50 new aircraft from Boeing worth more than $4.6 billion. The 737s will be delivered between 2016 and 2020. The purchase is part of Shandong's expansion of its fleet from 74 planes currently to 140 by 2020. In the latest legal battle between Samsung and Apple, the South Korean firm has claimed that the iPhone maker has vastly overvalued its technology. Apple wants more than $2 billion from Samsung for what it claims are use of its patented technology in the Galaxy smartphone range. But an expert called up by Samsung told the court in Los Angeles that figure was up to 57 times too high. And a Chinese supplier to Nike and Adidas has offered its workers more pay in a bid to end a strike that's now in its 7th day. These images posted on social media earlier this month show the workers at the Yuyuan plant in Dongguan protesting over pay and benefits. The monitoring group, the China Labour Bulletin, says that at least 10,000 workers have been taking part in the strike, making it one of the biggest in China in recent history.
Well, finally, those looking to get on the property market in London have an even steeper hill to climb, you're telling us.
Yeah, we're no longer talking about a property bubble in London. It's now a property super bubble. This is how bad they say things have gotten. Their demand is way outstripping supply. In the UK capital, prices rose 18% last year. Compare that to Paris, where prices actually fell by 4%. At the end of this year, experts expect that an average house in London is expected to top more than €600,000. And on top of that, new research say that first-time buyers will need an average budget of €85,000 to make a purchase in London. Property consultants JLL say that a deposit, taxes and fees and moving costs have all added up to that increased budget. They say they also don't expect prices to fall in the medium term. This is something that we could be talking about for years to come.
Gosh, and I already thought Paris was quite outrageous and definitely beyond my
There are places who are even more expensive.
Note to self, don't move. Right, thanks very much, Stephen Carl, for the business news. It's now time for today's web news.
Please help my 5-year-old son, British, in Syria, come home. The Foreign Office has abandoned him. This message was posted to Twitter on Sunday, 20th of April by London-based Syrian national Wael Zain to draw attention to the plight of his son, Maud, who's been stranded in Syria with his mother for 3 years, despite holding a British passport. His father's desperate to be reunited with him and has turned to the web to urge the authorities to take immediate action. Campaigning on social media has stepped up a notch. As his father explains on the microblogging site, Maud, who's currently living in a village outside the southwestern city of Deira, survived a bombing but was recently shot at and needs urgent medical attention. The British government has not yet responded to the appeal for help, but it has visibly caught web users' attention. They've been pledging their support for Wael Zain in his fight to be reunited with his son, and hope their online campaigning will result in little Maud being able to leave Syria. A man sitting comfortably on the subway, spreading his legs with no regard for the woman sitting next to him. This picture is part of an online campaign launched by a feminist group in Istanbul and has gone viral since being posted online on April 15th. The aim is to draw attention to a problem encountered by countless women in Turkey, a total lack of respect from men on public transport. The campaign has been trending on Twitter, with web users posting under the "Stop Spreading Your Legs" or "Don't Occupy My Space" hashtags. Turkish women say they face this type of inappropriate behaviour on a regular basis and have decided it's time to speak up, also posting photos to back up their claims. In a bid to spare women from this type of situation where a man's leg is pressing up against them, some are even suggesting the implementation of a network of women-only pink buses. The proposal, which was put forward by the Islamist-rooted Felicity Party in February 2012 and had a certain level of online support, is reminiscent of the system used in Japan, where some carriages in the underground transport service are reserved for women. Not everyone supports this proposal. However, the instigators of the current campaign tweeted they are against single-sex transport. And web users have also been voicing their opposition to this idea, saying it doesn't promote equality. They feel the only way to resolve this problem of harassment on public transport is to make sure men learn how to conduct themselves. It's official. The business-orientated social network LinkedIn has hit the symbolic 300 million user mark. The bosses of the platform, which was created and launched in the US in 2003, have posted a message to the company's official blog praising its global success, as some 200 million members are based outside of America. American billionaire Elon Musk posted this spectacular footage online over the weekend, showing the first test flight of F9R, the reusable rocket being developed by SpaceX. The video was filmed with a drone and shows a controlled vertical liftoff and landing. You can check it out on the SpaceX channel YouTube page.
Time now for just a quick break, but we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.